Kingy, where are you heading?
I'm heading to Brisbane, and I thought that was the most complete performance I've seen from them for a while. And there's an avenue now for Brisbane to defend themselves to a premiership. We'll get to their injury cost later on with Ashcroft, but to me that doesn't affect anything they're doing with their back six, their ability to roll up. Their defensive midfield now has changed. Their ability now to not allow the opposition inside 50s is a drastic change from last year. They're the best in the comp this year, denying inside 50s against, and that's halfway, in my opinion, to winning the flag. So they're right in the mix, and we talk a lot about the top four and who's got this ace up their sleeve and who's got that one. There's some coaching in that. We'll get to the specifics of what Chris Fagan is doing with Harris Andrews and the impact that that's having. But I'm a massive rap for the combination of their back six. Andrews now playing high, Payne in behind, taking all the big boppers and doing a great job. They got the lock away Leicester. He just does the job on whoever needs to be put to sleep. Starcevic has been around for a long time and a solid player. Then they've got the fleet feet of Wilmot, McKenna and Coleman. Now, you don't know where they're going. They're wild cards. So they can counterpunch, but they can also defend. There's going to be no change to this back six. There won't be, this back 6 or 7, because I think that they're taking all before them. To see how they stopped Geelong in their tracks in that first quarter, they looked for answers in the corridor that weren't there. And I thought, well done, Chris Fagan, for moulding this together. OK, you got your challenges. Every team has their challenges, but they can defend themselves to a flag.
All right, that's the next 4 matches ahead. Well, unfortunately, the downside, the sad, heartbreaking side, if you like, of the story was Will Ashcroft, number 2 draft pick, favourite for the Rising Star. As always, it seems such an innocuous incident against Max Holmes there, who had his own heartbreak last year, of course, missing the grand final after playing against the Lions. And I think immediately, because of the nature of it, we all kind of feared the worst, didn't we? And even though he was able to walk off in the end and be on his feet at the end of the game, that's confirmed today that he has done the ACL and it's season over. Yeah,
devastating thoughts certainly with him and the family. I mean, he's had such a wonderful, almost a bit of a Cinderella story year that would have continued on through the finals. It also probably means he's going to miss a fair chunk of next year as well, which is a shame. And that's horrible when anyone gets injured, let alone a first-year player who's livened up the joint so much. 2 quick questions. How much impact will that have on Brisbane, do you think?
Oh, massive impact. I mean, he's the clean hands in there. Lachie Neale's the go-to. Right? He's the star factor player. But they've always lacked that next midfielder. They've been 1 or 2 short. When we get to the big games we're talking about, they don't miss it as much during the home and away. But when you come up against a full complement, like you're talking about with Collingwood or Port Adelaide, then you'll just find you're 1 short and you put one in that when you put magnet to magnet, you're not super comfortable with. Now, that name can be a whole host of options, but you're going to have to manufacture. They've been down the Rayner path. We've seen Bailey in there. They're very good offensively, but they hurt you the other way. Yeah. This kid has a way of balancing them out. It's a huge loss, but we have a hard luck story every year with a grand final. It was Max Holmes last year. It was Andrew Gaff a few years ago, late in the season. Nick Natanui and Shep and all these guys. There's a whole host of names. So this potentially could just be another one of those.
And in a word, has he done enough to get the Rising Star, do you think, Joey?
I still think the body of work's big enough, yeah. But who they replace him with is going to be fascinating. Is it Lyons? Is it Berry now going back inside? Or is it the Bailey and Rayners or those type of guys? Or Dev Robertson? We'll have to wait and see.
All right.